Man, oh man, you're in for a treat. Early round draft pick. You have one? Well, you're in the right spot because I'm going to tell you the best draft strategy if you are picks 1 through 4 in round 1. Now, I'm going to be going through round by round. If you have pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, you're also going to have picks 21 to 28 on the 2-3 turn, right? So we're going to be going through all the best picks that you can make throughout your entire draft. This is the video that will help you win your league. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. The top 450 name draft guide is free in the Discord. Go join that link below. Name number 1. I guess name number 4, right? The first 4 names. Who do you take if your picks 1 through 4? The first 4 guys that should be off the board is Jamar Chase, number 1. No doubt about it. Number 2, the number 2 through 4, it's honestly personal preference. You have Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson had 18.7 PPR points per game in 2024. He was the wide receiver 4, but he's proven himself to be quarterback proof. You have JJ McCarthy, you have KOC, who is the quarterback whisperer. So Justin Jefferson's going to be just fine. And just think, Addison looks like he's going to be suspended for 3 games. So Jefferson could definitely feast the first 3 weeks of the season at the very least. So Jefferson I've seen going near pick 2 in best ball drafts. I don't know how that's going to impact his stock in redraft leagues, but Jefferson is definitely somebody that's going to be going in the first 4 picks. Then we go to running back, right? In terms of my official rankings, I actually have Saquon Barkley at number 2 and Bijan 3 and then Jefferson 4. Now, Saquon and Bijan, they're honestly interchangeable in my eyes. Obviously, Saquon had the better 2024 season from a points per game perspective, 22.2 versus 20.1. But Bijan actually had a better finish to the year. Bijan caught fire at the second half of the year, which is the only reason his kind of average is lower, because the first half of the year, Bijan was a bust, right? People were calling for fantasy content creators' heads for saying Bijan was going to be insane. Obviously, it took half the season for Bijan to catch his stride. Now, Bijan was actually a more involved receiver of the football than Saquon Barkley was. For Saquon Barkley, this is what I expect, right? So we're getting the news that they're going to limit Saquon Barkley. They're going to try balancing his workload because he just had the most touches ever for a running back because he had a full regular season all the way to the Super Bowl. This guy was heavily involved. He was the focal point. With that said, the Eagles are going to have a tougher schedule. They're not going to be able to run the ball as much, as effectively. They're not playing the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse teams anymore. They're going to have to pass the ball. Saquon, I believe, could get more involved as a receiver this season. He's also going to see his rushing usage, I think, decline. Whereas Bijan, he's a up-and-coming running back. This is going to be his prime. This is going to be Bijan's prime breakout year. So honestly, between the two of them, I don't care who you take, but the first 4 picks, Jamar Chase, and then in no particular order, personal preference, Saquon, Bijan, Jefferson, that would probably be the order I go in. It's really kind of how you want to build your team as well. Do you want to go running back round 1, or do you want to go wide receiver round 1? That could be another, distinguisher between Saquon, Bijan, and Jefferson. Now we're looking at 2-3, picks 2, picks 3, our second and third round, I should say. So second and third round, you guys are going to have 21 to 28 in ADP. Rest in peace. This is what I like to call Death Valley. There's nothing good. There is nothing good. Well, there's some stuff that's good, all right? So there's a big tier drop-off. The first 19 guys, there's 19 players this year that I think are league-changing presences. League-changing type guys. Devon Achane, Nico Collins, Brian Thomas Jr., A.J. Brown, Josh Jacobs, Brock Bowers. Those guys aren't going to be available to you at 21 to 28. If somebody falls to you at 21, 22, Ladd McConkey, Rashee Rice, Brock Bowers, definitely go for it. Trey McBride. So there are going to be probably 2 or 3 of you guys around 21 to 22, 23. You're going to get some followers. You're going to get some of those guys from the first tier. After that, you're in Death Valley, and Death Valley is not a good place to be. You're going to want to just take somebody that you think is going to be good and that I think is going to be good. I'm telling you guys the best breakout players, right? So I'm looking at 21 to 28 right now, what we currently have on the ESPN ADP. 22 is Drake London. Drake London is a name you want to have on your radar. We already talked about Bijan, right? But Drake London was the wide receiver 14 in 2024. He had a 40 bomb with Penix to end the season. Drake London had 2.5 yards per out run. This is going to be Drake London's prime breakout year, as well as Bijan. Now, obviously, you're taking a bit of risk, saying, what if Penix is trash? Then you're kind of up a creek right here. But Drake London is poised to have a breakout year. He disrespectfully got put at 97th in the NFL's top 100. Bit of a chip on his shoulder in my eyes, but I like Drake London as a breakout receiver at 22. Kyron Williams is a name I would take. Then you have the elite quarterbacks, which is pretty interesting. Now, James Cook is somebody I'd be avoiding in this 21 to 28 range. James Cook, he had 1 touchdown per game in 2024. We see regression, and he could be worse. So I don't like James Cook. He's currently at 24 on ADP. But you have Josh Allen, you have Lamar Jackson, you have Jaden Daniels, you have Jalen Hurts. I'm fine taking an elite quarterback right here at the 2-3 turn if you're one of these teams. We had a specific video where if you are the first pick in the draft, I did a full mock draft. I had Jamar Chase, Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill as my start. Speaking of Tyreek Hill is currently at 31, and Ladd McConkey is currently 30 in terms of ESPN ADP. Now, obviously, I think those will bump up as more people start doing drafts. But, I mean, again, know the names that are good, that you can still take reach on, that they think you're reaching, you're not, at the 2-3 turn. So, again, Josh Allen, elite quarterback. You have Ladd McConkey. You have Tyreek Hill. Now, guys, I'm not taking Devontae Adams. Nope. T. Higgins, absolutely not, guys. Don't take T. Higgins. Can't stay healthy, and he's the wide receiver 2 at best in his offense. Kyron Williams is all right. Bucky Irving is all right. And, so you want to keep your team balanced as well. That, the balanced approach is kind of one of the best builds in fantasy. So that is how to handle the 2-3 turn. Looking at the 4-5 turn, you guys will have picks 45 to 52. What do we got at picks 45 to 52? A lot of landmines. So I'm seeing some names that if they fall to you, you're going to want to take. So if any of these guys fall to you, Mike Evans, Chuba Hubbard, Joe Burrow, George Kittle, Kamara, any of those guys fall, pounce on them. Marvin Harrison Jr., James Conner. Okay, now actually, you know what? Those guys are within ADP. So looking at James Conner, looking at DK Metcalf, I like both of them. James Conner just had a very good season, underrated. He actually stayed healthy, which people were surprised upon, which is why he returned so much value compared to what he was getting drafted in 2024. 15.9 PPR points per game, 62% of the snaps. What if he takes a step back? He did have, 0.56 touchdowns per game, which is pretty decent. But anyway, there's some landmines. So DK Metcalf's a good one to draft as well. I like Metcalf a lot. The only target Aaron Rodgers can really rely on. But you have landmines. You have Joe Mixon. I'm fading Joe Mixon this year, especially with the Nick Chubb coming in. Now, before Nick Chubb came in, I said be wary. Not only was this guy declining in 2024, but they draft Woody Marks. They trade a third-round pick to get Woody Marks, and he was already going to have a receiving role usage on third down. So I'm fading Joe Mixon. And then you have Xavier Worthy, who I'm definitely fading Xavier Worthy, guys. Look at how much red is about to pop up on your screen. He wasn't good in his rookie year. 11 points per game. Everything's bad. Everything was bad. The only thing that wasn't bad is, from a real-life perspective, he was useful. But from a fantasy perspective, way too volatile. Best ball, sure, maybe, throw a dart at him, but in a redraft league, absolutely not. I'm not taking someone that finishes wide receiver 44 at pick 40. It's not worth it. So guys I would look at, DK Metcalf, James Conner, Breece Hall. I like Breece Hall. DeAndre Swift. There's wide receiver 1s available. Cortland Sutton is currently at 55. You got Calvin Ridley. You got Jerry Jeudy, Jameson Williams. You can even potentially reach on tight end, Sam Laporta, Hawkinson. Not a big fan of that. I'd wait, but that's how I would handle the 4-5 turn. Looking at the 6-7 turn now. So 6-7, you're going to be 69 to 76, and there's still going to be good players available. Looking at where we're looking at, right? So 69, you have Aaron Jones, Pat Mahomes, Tony Pollard. Don't mind any of them. You have Chris Godwin. Guys, Chris Godwin, I'm going to keep saying this. Yes, he's coming off of a bad injury. Take a look at the stats. If you don't know what you're looking at, he was the wide receiver 2 in points per game in 2024. When he was healthy, he averaged 20 points per game. This dude was insane. If he falls into my lap, I'm going to take him. This guy was insane. So take a look at Chris Godwin for sure when you're on the clock there. Jordan Addison is a landmine. Avoid Jordan Addison. He will be suspended for 3 games. His ADP will fall. Olave is somebody you should be looking at. Olave, he's 1 concussion away from his career being over. But if we take a look at what he was in 2022 and 2023, let's just look at the year prior to last. 13.9 points per game, wide receiver 24, 26% target share, 2.5 yards per out run. He's still a wide receiver 1 in New Orleans. Now, do you rely on the bad quarterback play? For sure. But Olave should still be the alpha in his offense, and he's going to have a good target share. So Olave is a good pick in this range. Travis Kelce, landmine. Njoku's good, but I'd still wait on tight end because there's going to be better tight end values later. Mark Andrews, not good. So this is kind of dust. You're kind of going to have to take the following values. Ted McMillan, Travis Hunter, RJ Harvey, David Montgomery. If any of those guys fall to you, I don't really love David Montgomery, but if any of them fall to you, you're going to have to just take it because there's not much depth here. There's a lot of landmines. Be careful in this range, like Jawan Jennings, Cooper Kupp, Dust. then you'd have to reach. You'd have to reach on Travion Henderson at 83, reach on Caleb Johnson at 84, reach a lot on Pacheco, Javonte Williams, way too early for these guys, right? So that's how I would then handle the 7, 8, what is that? No, the 6, 7 turn. Now we have the 8, 9 turn, and we're going to finish this out with the 10, 11 turn, but at the 8, 9 turn, you're going to be at 93 to 100. So the guys that I just started mentioning, that's when you would start taking these guys is the 7, 8 turn. Javonte Williams, Tyrone Tracy, Brian Robinson Jr. Those guys have potential to be the RB1s in their offense. So depending on your build earlier, might be worth taking a look at can you get some of these falling values. Tyrone Tracy is a guy where like he fumbled once every 43 touches, which sucks, but he had a good rushing season. He was a converted wide receiver and wasn't really involved in the receiving game. So if that develops and his rushing takes a step forward, Tyrone Tracy could be really good, but Scatabo definitely is a pest. Jalen Warren, Jalen Warren, I think, is a landmine. Caleb Johnson, I mean, if they fall, yeah, but realistically, are they going to fall to you? You're at 93 to 100. Who's within that range? Debo Samuel, avoid at all costs. 93 to 100, if you're at the earlier end of that, I would look for quarterback. Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix, definitely guys you want to take if the quarterbacks are still available here. Now, looking at who else? Stephon Diggs, he's all right. Ricky Pearsall, he's all right. Keon Coleman, he's all right. Quarterback that I really like in this range, Justin Fields. If you get Justin Fields right here, you will be set. Justin Fields had 75 rushing yards per game a couple of seasons back. This guy has top 5 quarterback upside. Yes, he can be in that elite Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks in a finish perspective. Now, his stats here are obviously bad because he was technically playing, even though he was just getting a couple snaps per game with Pittsburgh. So I really like him. Michael Pittman Jr. is not terrible. Cam Scatabo is not terrible. And then there's a bit of a teardrop off. Now, finishing things off with the 10, 11 turn, picks 117 to picks 124. Looking at who we're going to have available. There's going to be definitely falling values. Like if you get Darnell Mooney, if you get Josh Downs, let's just pull up both of these guys real quick. Like Darnell Mooney is, I really like both of these players heading into this year. Darnell Mooney, wide receiver, 38 finish in 2024, but he had 12 points per game. And the Falcons are saying they're going to have him a bit more involved in this next up-and-coming season. He had 21% target share. He had 2 yards per out run. Mooney has had a couple 1,000-yard seasons. So I think Darnell Mooney could be a top 25 wide receiver finisher and be a good flex spot play. Josh Downs, I think, has a chance to be wide receiver too. Like Josh Downs had 13 points per game in 2024. His yards per out run was 2.3. He improved in every single category from his prior season. So as long as Josh Downs is a functional quarterback, which is definitely no guarantee, I like Josh Downs a lot. But if neither of these guys fall, again, we're going to be at, 117 to 124. Oh, tight end. This is what I like to call tight end valley. You're out of Death Valley. You're in tight end valley. Colston Loveland, Tucker Kraft, Tyler Warren. Those are the big 3 tight ends I'd be looking at in this range. Or you're probably playing catch up at quarterback. You didn't take a quarterback yet. Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, Drake May, Justin Herbert. Now, some of those guys don't really have as much rushing upside, but that's why you avoid quarterback earlier. You didn't take elite quarterback in that range in the 2-3 turn. Now you're kind of stuck taking Dak Prescott and hoping he has another QB7 season. Jared Goff. I mean, I don't like Jared Goff. JJ McCarthy has some upside, especially if he has some rushing upside. So that's how I'd handle the 10-11 turn, and that's how I'd handle your draft strategy if you are an early round pick. We'll have mid-round pick strategy, and we'll have late-round pick strategy coming out soon. Smash the like and subscribe button, boys. Peace.